Mindfulness here at StudyStream. Welcome back, everybody. Just to give you the little announcement that we make every time that we record these sessions, and that is so that we can put them up onto YouTube. And I'm also streaming on Instagram at the moment, so more people can reach these sessions and they'll be invited into the Zoom room. But just so you know, there'll be a little notification coming up saying that this session is being recorded in a moment. And there it is. Thank you, Charlie. And there we go. So it's actually quite helpful for you guys to know that because we are now making use of the recordings and we're streaming live to YouTube, if in the future you ever want to return to a session, you want to remember what we covered or go through the practice again, refresh your memory, or do a practice when we're not having a live session, then you can go onto the StudyStream YouTube channel and play them whenever you want. So finally, we've managed to make that work. Okay, so for those of you who are in the Discord group, you'll have seen that I wrote something ahead of today's session, which was around how we tend to often lean into the next moment of anything, of our day, of whatever it is that we're doing. We tend to see the present moment as something to get through, to move on to the thing that perhaps we would rather be doing, or to have the end result in mind, rather than just being present with the thing that we're doing, to enjoy that moment. And so we have a meditation practice today that is going to be encouraging us to just pay attention to our experience in the present moment. Whatever we notice is going on, I'll obviously guide you through it. And maybe you will notice as we do it, there's a sense of push and pull. There's a sense of enjoying the pleasant experiences and wishing there were more of them more frequently. And with the unpleasant experiences, really looking to get through the moment and move on to the next thing. So the practice here is around paying attention to our experience through our senses, through our noticing the movement of our breath, through sensations in the body, through tuning into the sounds that are taking place all around us, and then finally to the actual very thoughts that are passing through our minds. And then maybe notice in those maybe brief moments where we really are tuned into the present moment, you maybe notice that there's a certain amount of calm that comes with the focus, that with the concentration. Many of you will probably have heard the term flow. Flow is about when we are so immersed in the moment of the experience, we are just in it. There is no distinction between the self and the activity that we are engaged in. We are just immersed in it. And so what we can notice as we practice with the meditation, we can notice those moments where we are more focused and get familiar with how that feels. And then we can also notice those moments when the mind wanders, how that feels, and also when the mind reacts to the present moment, maybe a sense of push and pull as we notice things that we are enjoying and those things we're not enjoying so much. So let's go ahead and do a practice, and we'll see how that feels for everybody. Because as always, we can do an introduction. That's great. It's helpful to have the theory, but really this is all based on the actual practice itself. So the invitation, as always, is to encourage you to, if there is anything that may be distracting nearby, to maybe just put that to one side, to really see if we can give ourselves permission to pay attention to just this session for the next 15 minutes or so. And yeah, so if there are any notes or anything that might buzz or beep, that can go off perhaps. All right. So let's begin. Let's find a way of sitting that's going to feel comfortable for the next few minutes, whatever that means to you. And then the invitation is to just allow the eyes to gradually close. So we're just bringing our attention inward to focus on the experiences that we notice without the distractions of the things taking place around us. And don't worry, there'll be plenty of distractions that our mind will create for us regardless. So don't you worry about that. And always just a reminder that if at any point this practice feels particularly uncomfortable, there's an element of physical or emotional pain, just always noticing if that's what's happening, and knowing that you have that ability to choose to maybe hit pause on this practice, to open up the eyes, to focus the attention on something that feels a little bit more comfortable. So as we sit here, just tuning into a felt sense of the body and the posture with which you're sitting. Reminding yourself that there's no special or particular experience that you should be having. This is a practice of discovery, of curiosity. There's no need for any judgment to creep in or expectation. And so we begin this practice by taking our attention and focusing it on the part of the body that we noticed breathing most obviously. And this may be in the nostrils, as the air moves in and out. Maybe in the throat. Maybe in the chest, where the lungs are. Or possibly lower down in the belly. And we're not so much thinking about or imagining the breath moving. Really tuning into that felt sensation of movement as the breath enters the body and then leaves. And maybe you notice some resistance or some distraction creep in as you do this. And then just reminding yourself that each time you notice the mind has wandered is a moment of awareness, of mindfulness. Strengthening that mindfulness muscle each time we bring it back to the present moment. And we just return it to our object of attention, which for now is the breath moving in the body, wherever you notice it most clearly. And maybe as you do this, you notice certain experiences come along at the same time. For some of you, it may be a moment of calmness, of relaxation maybe. And for others, it may be feeling quite challenging in different ways. Maybe you're someone where it's going between positive and negative experiences. The particular experience that we have is less important than just setting the intention to come back time and again, to just noticing how it feels as the breath moves in the body. And then we move on to the next stage where we take our attention and we place it in the body. And just having a sense of however it feels in this moment throughout the body. And again, not looking for any particular experience or sensation. Perhaps just noticing the felt sense of the feet against the floor. Or the weight of the body against the chair. Maybe there's some tension in the forehead, the temples. Or temperature, an awareness of coolness or warmth. Whatever you happen to notice is your practice. If you notice that your mind is leaning into the next moment, wishing the experience was somehow different from however it is, that's great. Just noticing that. And just as best as you can, bringing the mind back once again. Tuning into the body. As the sensations come and go. And if you notice a sensation, whatever it may be, maybe allowing the attention to just rest there for a moment as you see it arise and linger and maybe change in some subtle way, or maybe stop altogether. And then when you're ready, you can move on again to just notice another sensation. Whether it's a sensation on the outside of the skin, or maybe something deeper into the body, a tightness, slight discomfort, whatever it may be. As we move on to the next stage, we turn our attention to the sounds, the soundscape all around us. And so noticing sounds that are reaching us from far away, maybe from outside of the room or the building that we're sitting in. As well as sounds that are coming from nearby, or even sounds that are coming from inside us, of the breath or some gurgling or some subtle movement. Allowing yourself to notice sounds that are coming from all directions, from in front and behind, and to the sides, and above and below. And just like before, as we paid attention to the breath and to body sensations, with sounds, we just notice what there is to notice. not so concerned with what's making the noise, or any thoughts or images that we may have about it. Just allowing the mind to focus in on the raw sound itself, its volume, its duration, its pitch, whether it feels smooth or rough, constant or changing, stable or fluctuating. And again, just noticing if there's any sense of wanting to get to the next moment in a hurry, to want to hear the next sound, or the next stage of the practice, or the next thing that you're going to be doing today. And just noticing that, accepting it. And then as we move into the final stage of this practice, we turn towards an awareness of thoughts themselves. So just like before, noticing sounds just arrive in our awareness, and then usually pass away after some time. As best we can, noticing how this is also the case with thoughts. There's nothing that we do to create them. They arrive, and we can notice that. They linger, and they pass away. So just allowing ourselves to notice that whole process unfolding moment by moment. And noticing if this feels particularly uncomfortable or challenging, and remembering that you always have that choice, whether to stick with the discomfort, explore it, and if it feels too much, to know that you have that choice to step back, to focus the attention elsewhere, somewhere it's going to feel more comfortable and pleasant. Always knowing that that choice exists, to prioritize looking after yourself. And so for the last few moments, just noticing thoughts as best you can arrive, linger, maybe change, and then pass away as a new one takes its place, perhaps. And so now as we come to the end of the practice, taking the attention and placing it back into the body, and a sense of the body sitting here, feeling balanced, stable, and grounded. An awareness maybe of the feet on the floor, the body being supported by the chair, the hands in the lap or on the knees. And just taking 2 or 3 slightly deeper breaths, bringing oxygen into the body with a nice long, slow out breath. And then allowing the breath to return to normal. And so with the sound of the bell, we come to the end of our practice, and you're welcome to maybe bring some movement into the body, a gentle stretch or massage. Just listening to the body, seeing what it would welcome, what it would appreciate. Appreciating the link between mind and body. A relaxed body tends to cultivate a relaxed mind, and vice versa. And then if your eyes are still closed, you are welcome to open them back up again and rejoin the faces on screen. And as always, we have a few minutes left over. With the chat box open, you can find my name, Solomon. And as always, I'm really interested to hear how you found that experience. Also, if you've got questions, you're very welcome to ask them. But yeah, I'll give you a couple of minutes maybe to just, if there's anything you want to let me know, how did that feel? Where did your attention go to? How was it to go through those 4 stages of being with the breath, body sensations, sounds, and then actually observing thoughts? I wonder if that was a new concept to anybody or many of us. This idea that actually the thoughts themselves we're able to take a step back from and become aware of that process unfolding and the potential that that practice may offer us. And always with your message, if you want to put your name and where you're from, then that can always be nice to see as well. So from before, Aisha was saying really helpful to have the sessions put out on YouTube. So for anyone, just as a reminder, for anyone who joined us a little bit late, these sessions are now being put up onto YouTube. So you can please feel free to use them at any time when we're not running these sessions. Hello, I lost you for a minute, didn't I? Yeah, I was just saying that, yeah, if you wanna check out our YouTube channel, you'll find the recordings there. Okay, we have Shalom saying, it's my first time joining a live session. Thank you so much for the experience. Your voice has a calming effect. I'd like to ask the schedule of these mindfulness sessions. Absolutely, well, welcome. Always really lovely to welcome new people to the session. These sessions happen every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And whatever time the session started where you are is the time that it will start. So I'm based in the UK, and it's 7:30 p.m. where I am. But whatever time it is where you are. And you can join our Discord, and that's where you'll find the announcements always given. You can sign up to the email list as well on the website. Tana says, today was the most challenging day with the news of my grandma being hospitalized, my daddy listening to anti-vaccine audios at max volume right on in the next room. Feel so many emotions right now. Thank you for this session today. Well, Tana, I'm really sorry to hear about your grandma being hospitalized. I can only imagine what that experience is like for you, and a challenging home situation as well. Thank you for coming. Thank you for arriving at this practice, how you are. I think it's a really beautiful thing about this community is that people feel comfortable arriving, whether they're in really good high spirits or needing a little bit of support, a little bit of mindfulness to help them out. So thank you for coming. Thank you for letting us know how you're doing. And I hope we'll see you next session as well, and you can check in with us around then as well. Arby says, I got distracted several times. I tried to come back every time. Overall, it was a very relaxing practice. Yeah, beautiful. We're all going to be getting distracted all the time. I still get distracted all the time. That's okay. bit by bit, we do strengthen those concentration muscles, but also alongside it, we're developing that resilience to just keep on coming back again, noticing our reaction, not beating ourselves up, just coming back time and again. That's just as important, if not more important. Well, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. Goste? I felt comfortable and extremely relaxed, and it definitely helped to calm after a long day. Thank you. And Hang says it was a great session, really calming. Shalom says thank you again. Sinjan's from India. This is my 8th session, and honestly, my focus and calmness is improving session by session. Thank you for the session again. Beautiful. Thank you. So maybe we notice that little sense of progress starting to come about with our concentration. But also, as a warning, maybe for your 9th session, you'll notice that your mind is really distracted and you're just really struggling to get into the meditation, and there may be a sense of wanting to judge that as a failure. So just to preempt that, and just to say, like with any skill that we learn, we tend to find that we have better days and worse days, but actually there are no better and worse days. It's just the practice, it's the intention, it's just keep on going, because whatever the experience is, we're present for it, and we've set that intention, so it's always good to practice. Teresa says, this is my 2nd time. It was challenging, but I enjoyed it so much. I never realized that I always analyze the sounds that I'm hearing around me. So this practice when I just focus on the sound itself and stop my mind to think about what did the sound. Yeah, really interesting. I love that. I love that. So often we notice that there's something that comes up in our minds, we notice an experience from outside, and then our minds automatically creates a story or an image or brings up a memory. And so just noticing that that's how our mind works can really start to enable us to unravel the experience and place each part of our experience into its separate categories. And that can be really helpful so that we can get the most out of each moment. But also we notice that when things are starting to turn a little bit negative, we are able to put stoppers in there before it starts to spiral, because we notice those little links between a sound and a thought, perhaps, or a judgment. And we're able to just notice that and break it up. We call it divide and conquer. Sometimes you divide up your experience into these different sections, and then they stop being so overwhelming quite a lot of the time. Hang says, it was my first day and it was a little hard for me to stay focused, but I'm looking forward to doing it again because it felt really good. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, this practice is in many ways very simple, but that does not mean that it's easy. In many ways, it's really challenging. Hazel says, I've been waiting for this session since Friday. Thank you. Beautiful. Sel says, good morning from the Philippines. I'm Sel. This is my 3rd time to experience the mindfulness session. I'm glad to see you again. It's always worth my time here. I'm glad to see new faces from different places. Also, your voice is so calming as always. I was closing my eyes for the entire 30 minutes. Very challenging, yet I'm enjoying the time. Wow, thank you so much. Beautiful. Thank you, sir. Thank you for letting me know. Welcome back. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you at future sessions. That brings us perfectly to time. Got 2 minutes left. So the only thing that I will say is just a reminder that these sessions, when these sessions happen, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:30 British summertime. If you wish to get the mindfulness memo, head on to the StudyStream website /mindfulness. Just click on the mindfulness page, and at the bottom you can sign up so that I send out every 2 weeks a little mindfulness memo with a little bit of information about mindfulness, a little practice, a little exercise you can try out, and it also has the links to these sessions on there. If you're not a part of the Discord mindfulness community, you can jump on there as well. Someone is just asking, will we be doing this on other days other than Monday, Wednesday, Friday? At the moment, there aren't plans to, but we are looking at, how this might develop going forward. If there's enough enthusiasm from the StudyStream community to put on more sessions. And maybe we can tweak the sessions in some way. Maybe we can do a series where they're slightly more in depth, or we can do ones that are slightly longer, or maybe really short ones that are just 5 or 10 minutes, where they're like micro hits that you can just jump into during your day. So maybe what I'd do, actually, you know what, the best thing to do is for us to get a conversation going on the mindfulness chat channel on Discord. So if you're not there, head on over there and we can get a conversation going as to what you guys want, because ultimately what you want, hopefully we can provide. So if different days, different times, different structures, different lengths, specific practices, then just let us know, and we can respond to that and we can make that happen. So it's 8 p.m. where I am. That means it is your open mic session time, so you guys can unmute and chat and hang out, which is awesome. But that is everything from me. I think it's going to be me again on Wednesday and Friday this week. So you have me all 3 sessions, you lucky things. And I will see you then. Have great days. Have great afternoons, evenings. Bye, everyone.